Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. So 6 months ago, I ranked all 9 DCEU films, but since then, 2 films have been released, and my opinions on some of the films have changed. So today, we have my ranking of all 11 DCEU movies, going from worst to best. So without further ado, let's get into the rankings. So in 11th place is Birds of Prey. Now I've never been a fan of this film, and I've never been interested in the characters, other than Harley Quinn, who I think did carry the film. In all honesty, if I didn't have to rank these DC movies, then I would have turned the film off within the first hour. I was really bored. The fight scenes were obviously choreographed, and I know every fight scene is choreographed, but this film really makes it obvious, with the fighters waiting for the main characters to attack them, when they obviously have an open chance to take them down. It really pulled me out of the fight scenes and just made me laugh. The highlight of the film for me was Ewan McGregor's character Black Mask and Margot Robbie's Harley Quinn. I wouldn't be upset if we never saw the other characters again, because I really didn't care about them. In 10th, we have Suicide Squad. Now this is a difficult one. The film we saw in the cinema wasn't the true version of the film, with Warner Brothers meddling with the director's vision. With a mixed tone, obvious reshoots, and very poor editing, Suicide Squad was not a very enjoyable watch for me. All you have to do is watch the first Suicide Squad trailer and the final Suicide Squad trailer, and you can see a clear shift in tone. So hopefully, the Ayer cut can be released soon, so we can forget the film we saw in the cinema ever existed. Coming in 9th is Wonder Woman 1984. This film is completely different to the first film, and for some reason, Wonder Woman doesn't have her sword or shield, and can fly in this movie. The tone is so wrong. Wonder Woman was introduced to the DCEU as a badass warrior who took no prisoners, but was still kind and caring. In this film, she seemed to be so weak. I know her powers were decreasing as time went on, due to the wishing stone thing, but in the final battle, where she was meant to have all her powers back, she needed to use an armoured suit against Cheetah. If she had her sword and shield, she would have been able to take down Cheetah in a much more entertaining way. When I first watched this film, I really enjoyed it, because I didn't think about anything outside of this film. In fact, I didn't think about anything at all. But when watching it a second time, and thinking about how this connects to the rest of the DCEU, you can really start to see the flaws. The best thing about this movie is Hans Zimmer's score, which is because I really love the Wonder Woman theme. Number 8 is Justice League, the film that was released in 2017. The only reason that it is 8th and not 11th is because the film still has my favourite superheroes in it, and there are some elements that I like, which ironically are the Snyder scenes that were left in the film. This movie was absolutely butchered by Warner Brothers and Joss Whedon. Not only the dark things that happened during the reshoots, but also the final product. It's so obvious Warner Brothers at the time were trying to turn this into a Marvel movie. I haven't actually seen the movie since February, and I don't plan on watching it ever again. In 7th, we have The Suicide Squad, directed by James Gunn. Now I recently did a full spoiler review of the film, but this will be a spoiler-free mini review. This was a DC movie wrapped in a Marvel formula, with Deadpool-level gore. It was a fun film, but I didn't really feel anything for the characters, other than King Shark, Harley Quinn and Ratcatcher 2. I did enjoy the movie, and I would watch it again. However, it's not how I think the DCEU's tone should be. I think it's good for DC to have a clear difference in tone to Marvel, and this film is extremely close to a Marvel movie. In 6th, we have SHAZAM, which, like the Suicide Squad, does have a tone closer to Marvel than the early DCEU movies. However, I think it works far better for SHAZAM than the Suicide Squad, because this is a teenager who's been given the powers of the gods, so it's appropriate to be that funny. I thought Zachary Levi did a great job as Shazam, and I thought the fight scenes were entertaining. There were some jokes that I thought didn't need to be there, but overall, I really enjoyed the film. In number 5, we have Wonder Woman. I thought this was the perfect origin story for Wonder Woman, and Patty Jenkins did a fantastic job in directing it. In the film, Wonder Woman was a badass character, which correlates with her introduction in Batman v Superman. I liked how she became more powerful as the story evolved. Not only did that connect me to the character, but it also gave us an insight as to how she became the powerful superhero we saw in Batman v Superman. It is a real shame that Wonder Woman 2 was so bad, because if they had followed the tone and power of this Wonder Woman, the film would have been 10 times better. In fourth, we have Aquaman, one of the most visually beautiful films, not only in the DCEU, but in comic book movies in general. Jason Momoa killed it as Aquaman, and I loved the character development he had throughout the film. I loved how the aspect ratio opened up when we went underwater, and the fight scenes were really enjoyable to watch. I thought it was appropriately funny, with no forced jokes, and I thought it was a brilliant continuation of Aquaman's story. In number 3, we have Batman v Superman, Ultimate Edition. Now this was in second place last time I did these rankings. However, another film has been released, so the rankings have shifted. This movie has to be the most misunderstood comic book movie ever. The problem was that people expected a Marvel tone, but it was never promoted as one. This was the deconstruction of the greatest superheroes of all time, Batman and Superman. We know Superman to be a bright, hopeful character. However, this Superman has been thrown into a realistic world, where society ridicules anyone for anything controversial. We see someone even as powerful as Superman feel the impact of that criticism. It's Lois Lane that helps him realise why he is Superman.
Superman was never real. Just the dream of a farmer from Kansas.
That farmer's dream is all some people have. It's all that gives them hope. This means something.
You did on my world. My world doesn't exist anymore. This is my world. You are my world.
Sacrificing himself for a world that has wrongfully ridiculed him beyond belief is the most Superman thing possible. This Batman as well isn't supposed to be the Batman you know from the comics. So what if Batman lost all sense of why he became Batman? One that lost Robin and has admitted that he is a criminal. The only person that made him realise how wrong he was Superman. He saw Superman's sacrifice and it inspired him to be better. His whole speech at the end of the film explains that.
Man is still good. We fight, we kill, we betray one another, but we can rebuild. We can do better. We will. We have to.
It's a perfect setup not only for a Justice League movie, but also a redemption arc for Bruce Wayne. We didn't see that in 2017, but we did in 2021. In second, we have Man of Steel. Now, for a long time, this was my favourite movie of all time. However, I think we all know which film has taken its place. Man of Steel was the first ever film I saw twice in the cinema, and I loved the modern, realistic take on Superman. Like BVS, it shows how even someone that powerful can struggle. Not physically, but emotionally. I think that's a very important message, that even the most physically strong superheroes can be emotionally affected. The soundtrack is fantastic, and that's the same for BVS. Both are so powerful and have some of my favourite tracks of all time. The action was thrilling and unique, and I thought the scale of destruction was a realistic and appropriate approach. Superman tried to take Zod out of the city and even into space, but Zod kept on bringing it back to Metropolis. What we saw was Superman's first ever fight. He had only just started using his powers, so he was going to make mistakes. For me, this is definitely the best origin story for any superhero. And in first place is Zack Snyder's Justice League. The combination of the journey of the Release the Snyder Cut movement and the quality of the film makes this my favourite comic book movie of all time. The film may be 4 hours long, but it doesn't feel like it. It flows straight from Batman v Superman perfectly into Justice League. It redeemed Bruce Wayne in the most appropriate way I think was possible, by bringing the League together and then bringing Superman back to life. Yes, it could have been nice to have all the characters have an origin film first, but I don't think it's necessary as the characters were introduced in the best way possible for me. There were so many epic moments throughout the movie. Every hero had a purpose to the film. Batman brought the League together, destroyed the tower to bring down the shield, and then saved Flash from the Parademon. Superman saved Cyborg from Steppenwolf and helped take him down. Wonder Woman was the one to kill Steppenwolf and saved Batman from the parademons shooting at him. Aquaman stabbed Steppenwolf, which led to Steppy's death, and helped distract Steppenwolf, which allowed Cyborg to connect to the mother boxes. Cyborg was the one to stop the Unity from happening and was willing to sacrifice himself for that to happen. And the Flash turned back time to stop the mother boxes from destroying all life on Earth. So they all had a purpose to be there. This film I could watch over and over and over again. It's one of the most visually beautiful comic book films, and the score is so epic. The Justice League theme by Tom Holkenborg is easily one of my favourite themes of all time. The only scene I thought that didn't need to be there was when the people in Iceland started to sing when Aquaman left. Other than that, I wouldn't change a single thing. So that is my ranking for all 11 DCEU films. Make sure to let me know what your rankings are in the comments below. But that is all for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Please make sure to like and subscribe and turn on post notifications so you never miss a video. I hope to see you here again soon. So until then, have a great day. Bye.